Very pleased that I be joined here at SB Nation by the one and only, the internationally famous, the dashing, the debonair. You know him, you love him. It is Alex Ferreira. Alex, I struggled with the pronunciation for your last name. I wanted to go like full send and really I'm a Mexican American, kind of apply an accent, but I chickened out. I just gotta be honest with you.
Well, I appreciate it for the intro and for the almost trying, but basically it's Ferreira. It is a Portuguese name, but my dad's from Argentina, so I guess
That's
it's
the
our.
thing. Like, I mean, I'm just Mexican American. I'm too domestic. You know what I mean, basically. And so I don't have the international flair in the sense that you do, which is certainly why we're here. Obviously, the Olympics are coming up, and I'm very excited to watch you. I know the whole world is. I actually want to start there. What is? I know your parents have athletic backgrounds and whatnot, and this is not your first rodeo by any stretch, but what is that like to know that in a month's time, approximately, the whole literal world will be watching what you're doing?
Yeah, nerve-wracking, terrifying, awful feeling, but at the same time, it's amazing. I've been training basically my entire life for this moment, so you might as well carpe diem, seize the moment and go for it because they're not going to get another one like it. No two Olympics are the same. No two runs are the same. No two contests are the same. So I'm just going to go out there and do my absolute best.
Well, we're wishing you all the luck, certainly on behalf of the red, white, and blue.
Thank you.
This is a fun time. I cover the NFL mostly throughout the calendar year, but this is different in that everyone comes together. Everyone falls under the same banner, so to speak. And so you literally have the most powerful country in the world rooting for you. That has to be an empowering sort of feeling. You talked about no two runs are the same. I'm going to phrase this question very I think uniquely. I got a new iPad recently, so shout out to me. And so I've been watching all these TikToks that are like different tricks and like how to organize and how to most get the most out of it type stuff. And so there's all sorts of people who are artistic and draw and do all sorts of different things. I'm not like that. I just need to check Twitter. You know what I mean? That's really like the limit for my usage. But I'm curious, how do you design a run? How does it go from your mind to execution? Is there, what's the practical design purpose, especially as it, pertains to the Olympics?
That's a wonderful question. And I would start with I've never built a run without thinking 100% wholeheartedly that it was going to win, right?
Epic. I love
I
that.
have also, on top of that, I'm not much of a creative as well. I've seen other people do tricks. I'm not much of a first time, never been done before type of athlete. I'm more of a, okay, I've seen what's been done, I see what's possible, and then I try and put it all together as smoothly, calmly, collectively as possible. I'm all about cleanliness. So when you're taking a trick from inception and then to a contest, these are typically the steps. I see somebody do it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna put my own flair on it. I start training it on the trampoline. Then from there, I start doing it on rollerblades off a ramp and then into a giant airbag or into a foam pit. And then from there, they have these things called water ramps. You can ski down these plastic ramps, jump off of them, and go into a huge pool with bubbles pushing up so that it breaks the fall. And then the last step would be doing it onto a giant airbag after that. So you're skiing down a plastic ramp, off a jump, and then you land on this airbag. And if you land a number amount of times or consistent manner on your feet, then it means you're ready for snow. Then I'll take it to snow, then I'll do it on snow a few different times, and then I'll do it for my first time in a contest run. If I landed in the contest run, that's what I call contest ready, and that trick is good to go. We're ready to rock and roll. So that's kind of the timeline or the zoomed out view of what it would take from inception to competition.
I love that. A very different version than, browsing TikTok for iPad tips. So in that respect, I imagine in your sport it's a very disciplined practice in that, if you're getting ready for a run and you've just seen somebody else post a score, whether it's in the Olympics or any other competition, there has to be some level of trust that you hold and conviction in your run to not change it, to not say, I just saw this, or is that something that you juggle in the moment, maybe in different competitions? Do you ever go into something and say, if I see this, if I see a score posted, then I'm going to go with run A or I'm going to go with run B? Do you have any kind of mental processing that happens in that 11th hour?
Also, another phenomenal question, very in depth. I would say I don't watch any of the other competitors' runs. I'm up there, music blasting, head down, running up the hill to keep warmth. so that when a score like that comes in, maybe a 95 comes in, I'm not up there thinking, oh, I have to change my plan in order to beat a 95. That's a lot of pressure for somebody to take on. So I don't watch anybody's run. I just 100% stick to what I'm doing. There are points in time where you need to pull off an audible, in which cases I would say that is weather or, yeah, weather regarding.
Sure.
So if it's snowy, okay, we're gonna pull down the degree of difficulty a touch. If it's windy, okay, then we're gonna pull down the amplitude a bit more. If it's sunny, then we're gonna, you know, step on the gas. Let's go, bud. So I would say only weather related, never other person or other athlete related
I
is
love
there.
that. I also love knowing, not even envisioning, but knowing that your competitors are seeing your scores posted, and they're the ones who are having to call an audible. I mean, like, holy crap, Alex just posted, a 95. Like, I've really got to, up my own amplitude, but it's not going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
and that's happened a lot. I know people, other athletes have come over to me during the contest. They're like, wow, that was unbelievable. And I'm so grateful. I'm like, you shouldn't watch my run. You should just focus on yourself.
that's phenomenal context, and the Olympics do such a great job of telling athlete stories and things like that. But there's so much to get to that. These are the types of things that I think we're wondering, from our couches under our blankets at home, while you're out shredding and destroying the earth. I don't know if you can hear my dog. He's not very professional. I actually have two of them, and that was the first thing
Good.
I did with my iPad was I made my cover screen my family. Again, shout out to me. But my two dogs are named Bear and Honey. But your dog is a big part of your kind of centering and your processing, certainly as it pertains to the Olympics, but also your everyday life, as I know.
Absolutely. So I partnered with Nulo for the Fuel Incredible campaign ahead of the 2026 Olympic Games. And basically, Brandy has been such a huge part of my life since we got her about 4.5 years ago. She's a rescue dog. When we first got her, there were burn marks all over her face. She had been tortured. She had been beaten. And, she has a new lease on life with us. And it's so many different times. I'm always walking in the door, whether it's a good day or a bad day, and it doesn't matter. She sees me, she has no idea of the results, and the oxytocin release from her brain and the oxytocin release from my brain kicks in. And it's like, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. I love you so much. And she's always doing this cute little thing where she wiggles her whole body. She can't contain her excitement for seeing me. And honestly, that just makes the excitement grow for me towards her too.
That's fantastic. Dogs are very special. I mean, there's just no, again, we have two. So I fully get anyone who has a dog just heard that answer and went, yeah, I totally get it. And the tail wag, it just like takes over their entire body. See, like you never know, like maybe there's a level of movement in Brandy's body that it inspires a run for you. You know what I'm saying? Like a certain movement where you're like, I never thought about contorting a human body in that manner. Like you just never know where the inspiration comes. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I hadn't thought of that, but that's true. She's arching the spine a lot, and I need to arch the spine to grab certain grabs while I'm skiing, so that makes perfect sense.
I love that. And I love what Nulo's doing. Nulo obviously has the priority of all animals at their heart. As we close, when you're, I would know, but when you're an Olympian, obviously everything you're doing for so long is focused towards one specific thing. So I have to imagine like anytime someone's like, recently, what do you want for your birthday or what do you want for this? You're like, my goal's pretty well established. Like what I want, for like is that what's that like to manage in your personal life where everyone knows all of your energy is concentrated towards one specific thing?
Um, it can be sometimes it's really helpful because they don't want to bother me.
Mm,
But sometimes they don't want to bother me so much that they don't ask me how I'm doing or like what's really going on. It's a bit of more of a surface level conversation. And I appreciate that. They're coming from a good place and they really
sure.
do care about what's going on in my mind and they just want to keep me focused on the task. So I would say that part is difficult or good sometimes, but I don't know. I feel like everyone's got a good they want to see me succeed and I appreciate that.
That's where Brandy comes in too. Brandy doesn't, have to say the right thing or say the wrong thing, just can exist and be the emotional support, the whatever support it is that you need. That's part of the magic and wonder of dogs. I lied. I said that was my last one. My actual last one, I know your father played soccer in Argentina. Who's your club team or who's your, like what's your soccer fix right now?
I'm a huge Messi fan
Oh,
because my dad is from Argentina, and obviously Messi won the World Cup, this previous one, and it was his fifth and final one. And I feel very similarly along the same vein. This is my third and final Olympics, and to do it on your last go, when you're wise, when you're at your strongest, would be the most beautiful thing in the world. So anywhere that Messi is, currently he's at Inter Miami. I'm a huge fan. I was a huge fan of Barcelona. I'm a huge fan of River Plate because that's where my dad's from,
Right.
obviously. And then the EPL is probably the best league, though.
What was your Premier League team then?
Premier League team, I like Chelsea. I don't like them as much since the Abramovich kerfuffle, you could say. So probably, if it's tough. Maybe Everton.
I was just earlier today listening to a Men in Blazers podcast episode. It was an interview with Tommy Fleetwood. I don't know how much you follow
Yeah,
PJ Tour,
yeah.
but he's an Everton guy, and they were talking about how Tommy said what he loves about being an Everton fan is that it ingrains positivity into you because you kind of have no choice. You just have to be, positive and positive and positive, believing that the sun and fate will ultimately shine upon your club. And I think that's a great disposition to carry into the Olympics. Certainly, as you've declared your final one, and we're wishing you all the best again on behalf of our country. I think there's a great story happening here on top of your great athletic prowess. And so we're believing in you. I know Nulo is believing in you. I know Brandy is believing in you. I don't mean to speak on behalf of so many important people in your life, but Alex, it was wonderful getting to know you, and we'll be rooting you on with everything we got coming soon.
RJ, I appreciate that closing. You're good with your words, and thank you very much for your time.
And thanks, not for congratulating me on the iPad. I know I fished for it a lot, but hey, it is what it is.